And so we're excited again this week to have a guest to join us, and another familiar face from our own congregation is here with us today to discuss the topic of loneliness. Today, Peishuan Liu, you know her as Kavina, is going to join us. So would you help me to welcome Kavina to the stage this morning for a little chat about the topic of loneliness. So thank you for joining us today, and for those who may not know you, would you just introduce yourself, talk about your practice? You're the first person we've had who's an LMFT, and so maybe you can talk about how you practice and what your clients are like.
Sounds good. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you here. So I'm Kavina. I think most people know me as Kavina, but I go by Patient Liu professionally and legally too. So some clients call me Patience and Precious. I'll take that because I do need patience as a therapist. But I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. That means I'm licensed here in Texas and in Massachusetts. I do online therapy. I work with individuals, couples, families from diverse backgrounds, some church leaders too. And I practice different therapy modalities. One of them is called internal family system therapy. It's IFS. It's very similar to the movie you watched recently, Inside Out. Do you remember that? So the joy and the little different emotions, right? So emotions are like trailheads. Like if you go on hiking, you will enter a place and you don't really know what's behind that. And you will go over there and really go on the trip and go to the unknown. But eventually, my role is to really help clients to understand, what's behind loneliness? What's behind those emotions? What are we longing for? What are we grieving over? What are some needs that are unmet? So that's what I usually do. And to be able to understand ourselves deeply is actually to get to know God more too, because we are created according to God's image. So this therapy process helps us to get to know ourselves more deeply, others, and get to know God more too.
Well, it sounds like you're the perfect person to talk to us about loneliness today with that kind of a background and perspective. Now, when we talk about loneliness, there's a difference in saying, okay, my wife is gone for the weekend, I'm feeling lonely, and someone who is experiencing kind of a more profound sense of loneliness, right? So can you help us understand, like, what is a definition of loneliness from an emotional, mental health perspective?
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So loneliness is different from being alone. So being alone is the physical state. You are by yourself physically. You may or may not feel lonely. Loneliness is emotional distress. You feel at heart, you feel emptiness, you feel disconnected, feel unseen, unknown. And maybe with our head, we are thinking about, does anyone care about me? Do I matter to people? What's the point? Or even what's the purpose, of me being here? So that's the loneliness we experience, and King David understands that too. In Psalm 142, look and see, there's no one at my right hand. No one is concerned for me. So we get the idea. Well, when we think, we'll feel no one's concerned for me. In our heart or in a place, that's where we feel really lonely, right?
So you mentioned a moment ago about the emotions being trailheads.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about how loneliness can sometimes be a trailhead for us as we kind of delve into what's behind it? What does that tell us?
Yeah. When I think about that, I think about hiking. Does anyone like hiking? Well, I like it, and my husband doesn't. But it's like you go to an unknown place, right? You want to enjoy, you want to know what's there, but you enter the entrance, you might feel discomfort, right? Feel lonely is not a good feeling. Sometimes we want to dodge, we want to, distract ourselves, but we sit with the discomfort. We are curious about it. What's behind that? Let's go on the journey, right, with the therapist, with God, and then we get to see, what's behind that is what I need, what I need to know about myself and about people, about God. Again, what are we longing for? What are we grieving over? What's needed? Usually it's the connection. We are longing for loved, to be known, to be seen, to be connected.
So if we push beyond the loneliness to kind of see what's behind it, it can
Yes.
reveal deep longings and needs and that kind of thing. So how does someone find themselves in a real deep state of loneliness? Not just I'm by myself, but I'm really feeling alone and I'm really struggling with that. How does someone get to that point?
Yeah. So loneliness is not a reflection of who you are. It doesn't define you. It's really about what has happened to you physically, emotionally, socially, globally, right? In this broken world, right? So a lot of things can happen to us that create this disconnection with ourselves, with other people, with God. So, for instance, losing a loved one, right? We might feel like really lonely in that, feel like that relationship is so important, no one can replace that, no one can truly understand that, right? Or going through some physical health, invisible or visible medical condition, people might not understand what you're going through, that can create loneliness, right? And also the pandemic, right? That wouldn't allow us to be more connected with people. We might feel isolated, might feel lonely, right? Might feel disconnected to ourselves even. Yeah. And also moving to a new place, life transition, like a new immigrant coming to this country first. Years ago, I felt maybe there's a culture shock or language and cultural barriers. There's part of me, or even linguistically, culturally, or identity-wise, feel like there's a sense of unknown. There's a sense of I cannot be understood fully, or cannot be seen, cannot be connected, right? And also moving to a new community, or a new school, a new job, right? A different state. We also moved from Boston to here after 12 years. So that's also another condition that can feel lonely. And I also work with people who are really strong outside. They may be professors, they may be lawyers, doctors, strong church leaders, or successful business people. But they felt like it's really hard to reach out because they need to be strong for others, and they don't want to add burden to others that prevent them from reaching out for help or showing vulnerability, and that can perpetuate a cycle of loneliness and isolation too. And were people who, I want to mention something. A brother from First Service come to me, talk about this. I thought it's very important to mention. So all the men out there, I see you. I want to shout out to all the men, because women here are very good at connecting, reach out. Really. My husband left. I don't know why. But yeah, I think there's academic, is that how you say? Yeah. And loneliness, especially for men in church and outside of the church. Because something about what it means to be a man in the society really prevent men from reaching out. It may be seen as a sign of weakness, but no, reaching out is really a sign of strength. You create connection, you make you stronger. So hug the man next to you, please. Because they really need that connection. I encourage brothers to really get together and to know each other deeply, okay, to create that connection. And or another circumstance might put people in a lonely place is maybe experiences of being bullied or discriminated, or some kind of past or current trauma that really put people in that unknown suffering, create that loneliness in people. Yeah, but so isolation, disconnection creates loneliness, which is very traumatic.
Now, you mentioned, as you were encouraging the men in the room, you mentioned reaching out. So that goes to my next question. So when you find yourself in a period of feeling kind of lonely and isolated, maybe unseen, what are some other suggestions that we can do to take care of ourselves? Reaching out is one. What are some other ways that we can address that issue of loneliness in ourselves?
So I think first of all, really recognize it. Name it to tame it, right? So being able to even confess to ourselves, I am feeling lonely. I am feeling lonely. And then externalize it. In narrative therapy, we say externalize it. I sometimes tell my clients to draw it, right? To create a visual prompt, almost like a character from inside out, and be curious, what color is it? What texture is it? What this emotion is trying to say, right? Be curious about it, name it, and being able to be curious about what happened to me, physically, emotionally, relationally, socially, financially, what happened to me? What do I need, right? What I'm longing for. And being able to stay connected to people, reach out to safe people who can listen, who can understand you, who is there, who can be there for you, and seek professional help. Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about loneliness and how pervasive it is, I think we want to be responsible as well. So what are some things that we can do when we detect maybe somebody having some of those symptoms of loneliness? What are some things that we can do to help others when it comes to loneliness and those kind of deep longings? Some do's and don'ts. I know you have a list of both, so give us some of those.
Long list of do's and don'ts. So first I thought about the verse, actually, 1 John 3:18. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and truth, with actions. So do's and don'ts, very important, but also most important things being. So do's is being specific, offer options. So for instance, like, can I sit next to you? Yeah, can I invite you for lunch next Wednesday? Can I pray with you? Right? Can I drop food at your door? So those things will make people feel like, oh, you care about me, And because sometimes when people experience that loneliness, it's harder to think about what they really need, or there's a low energy comes with it too. So with best intention, don't leave people with, oh, let me know when you need help. So again, we probably all have done that before, right? But what I learned is that it's very important to offer options and being specific. And listen to understand. It sounds very easy, but it's really hard. So listen to understand and not to react or respond or to fix. Really being able to listen to understand as that person is the most important person in the whole world. That really allow that person to feel like, well, I matter to you. I have value. I matter, right? So it's very, very important. And in our field, we said we need to be fearlessly present for our clients. So like try to be fearlessly present, to just be there, to understand, to be with that emotion, with that person too. And remember some details like birthdays, anniversaries, what people are going through, and follow up with that. Hey, like you told me about this. What's going on? What's the update? How are you doing? Again, can I come by? Can I call you? So remember those details are very important too. Yeah. And then we come with, very important thing. Can I pray for you? Can I pray with you? Because that's something I've been trying to practice. Is like, I will pray for you is really something we do as Christians a lot, right? But then I realized, can I pray for you, Pastor John? And also prayer, like I call you and I'm praying with you in person, because that allow us to create that connection. And also for 2 and 3 come together in my name, there I am within, the Lord says. We have the opportunity to bring God's presence with us. And that's very important too. So don't.
Yeah.
With the best,
not to do.
Yes, with the best intention, we can be creating more loneliness, unfortunately. But so we want to pay attention to what to not do. Okay, so do not shame people. Well, I'm pretty sure no one here wants to shame others, right? But some things we say or do might create that effect. So, for instance, if someone coming to you say, "I feel so lonely because this and that," don't say, "But you had a great life." Like everything's going so well. So you have so many friends. You look beautiful. Okay. Yes. And so don't shame people by saying all that. Yeah. So that creates a sense of invalidation. And don't over spiritualize it. And I hear the most from my Christian clients about they go to some church friends and they are being told, just pray more about it. Just have faith. Don't you read the Bible? And again, that create, with best intention, that create the effect of more isolation, more loneliness or invalidation. And don't hijack the conversation.
Yeah.
So you can definitely relate it to people. Oh, yeah, that happened to me. And then don't go on for an hour and to talk about yourself, okay? You are there for that person. So you are there to listen, to understand.
Yeah.
Be present, like I said. I'm still learning. We're all learning. It's okay. My dear sister-in-law say, practice make progress. We are working progress, right? You are there to be present, fearlessly present. Fearless present. I want to share this research.
Yes, I was going to ask you about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You have a really beautiful piece of research I want you to conclude
Yeah, I'm
with
a
here.
geeky about like research.
Yeah.
So, this research is called hand-holding research. So a bunch of researchers they, put people under fMRI, functional MRI, and tell people they are going to get some electric shot. So they might be, kind of anxious or fearful, and there's anticipation. And they put people in 3 groups. First group is they're going through the fMRI alone. Second is they are going through that with a stranger holding their hands. And the third is with their loved ones holding their hands. So the result is obviously very clear. But even a stranger holding their hand helped them to calm the nervous system. The dangerous signal will become much weaker. And of course, with our loved ones, the better the love and the quality is, the calmer our system is. So going through that alone is very difficult. And that helped me to understand the verse, do not be afraid, for I'm with you. Yeah, but a lot of times I'm still afraid. But then I realized when we experience that presence of God and presence with people, our brain literally is telling us to calm down. And that helped me to understand the ultimate reframing and meaning of loneliness is God created us and designed us to need to connect with God and with people. And that's beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
great. And those are some great suggestions, do's and don'ts. And I know
Remember
you have
the don'ts,
one suggestion of a book that I want you to,
that's right,
to mention as we close here.
Yes. So there's a book called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, and maybe many of you have known that book. But it's basically talk about we cannot be really truly spiritually healthy unless we are emotionally healthy. So it's very important to take care of emotional health, right? And when's the timing?
When is the time?
Yeah,
Yes.
to reach out. Now is the time. Prevention is always better than intervention. We don't want to wait until it's too late. I work with many young people, young folks, and people in different seasons. And the young folks now in their, teenage years, 20s, 30s, they come to me just want to improve themselves and want to get to know themselves more. I also work with more senior folks, and they say, I wish I could have reached out earlier before the problem become too big, right? So now, anytime is the best time. Just like we all have PCP, right? Primary care doctor. We go to the doctor to have annual check-in to make sure we are feeling okay physically. So we need to make sure our emotional health is good too. And I want to mention is that most therapists have therapists, to keep us up, and we don't bite. So make sure you reach out. You need to find a therapist that you feel you can connect. Yeah, you feel understood. If it's not, you can find another one.
Well, that's a great encouragement. It's always better to prevent than to intervene, right? So that's one of the things we're doing in this series is trying to help you see some potential ways that you can take care of yourself in your mental condition. So thank you, Kavina, for your expertise and for sharing with us this morning. As always, her information is on the back of the bulletin if you want to contact her, and she will be in the Commons afterwards. She has some fun little things to give away too if you want to go and stop by
Affirmation
and talk to her.
bracelet.
Yes,
You're
some
important.
nice little bracelets. So,
it's okay to ask for help.
yeah, so would you help me express our thanks to Kavina for being here? Thank you so much.